I was the first recipient of the Father Xavier Scholarship in 1978 at James Ling, and I had my first board interview with Mary Batty, Mrs. Bigsby, Father Willard, and Barry Mooney. So that was another thing. I'd like to also thank the Hall of Recognition Committee for all your tireless work over the decades and the positive impact that you've had in this community. It goes beyond this room. It's spread out across our country. So congrats. And I'd like to also congratulate all the honorees today for all your hard work and great distinction in this community. So, as you mentioned, my dad was born on Ottawa Street in Griffintown. He's one of 3 sons born to Annie Thomas and Leo Patwell, and he attended St. Anne's Grade School, St. Thomas Aquinas and Darcy McGee High Schools. He had 2 schools that he went to for high school. These were his formative years where he met and married his childhood sweetheart, my mom, Lucy Andreoli, and they were married for 57 years. They have 3 children, 3 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren, and many nieces and nephews that are here with us today. In 1967, when we were starting school, so I was starting grade 1, our parents moved here to Point St. Charles, and we lived on Margaret Bourgeois Street for 15 years. We lived in 2 houses, 513 and 549. And it wasn't even across the street, it was on the same block. So this was the beginning of their lifetime commitment and involvement to St. Gabriel's Church and the community of Point St. Charles. As a young man growing up in Griffintown and the Point, my dad developed values that shaped his way of life and living. He's dedicated to his family, work, church, and community. He was a leader in his field at work and on the sports field. He's a team builder, a role model, a mentor, and a friend to many young people, and also people throughout the lifespan because of his work at the YMCA. He has a very strong work ethic. He started working when he was a young boy doing odd jobs while going to school, but his first full-time job was the Canadian Pacific Railway, where he worked for 9 years, and then moved on to a rewarding 30-year career with Bell Canada, retiring in 1998. After 1 year of retirement, he became restless and began his 3rd career working at the NDG YMCA, where he worked for 17 years, retiring this summer. One other job that he had was he was my office manager for 5 years at Patwell Consulting. And he told me that you have to honor your name and make good on your name. So that's why my company is called Patwell Consulting to this day. In his spare time, John was involved in many volunteer projects that positively impacted people of all ages. As a young father, he coached the Little League baseball team in Point St. Charles and Leo's boys bantam hockey. He was also involved with the hockey exchange programs with Leo's boys and the teams from Roslindale and Boston. He also formed an annual softball league that played for many years in Cooperstown, New York, and where lifelong friendships were formed and continue to this day. And one thing that he did that many of you may not know is he coached a ladies hockey team that included my mom, her sisters, and friends from our community. They used to play on Saturday nights, so we couldn't get enough hockey. Just played hockey. One of the highlights of his volunteer work was in 1976, when he and some friends obtained an anonymous donation for several hundred tickets to the Montreal Olympics in 1978. Many families and children of the community were able to attend those events and participate in a world-class memory. In addition to his involvement in sports, my dad is a lifelong member of the 3rd and 4th degrees of the Order of the Knights of Columbus, where he served as Grand Knight and Commander, leading the 4th degree and American contingent for the annual St. Kitterly Tecumseh celebration masses in Kanawaki. Behind every good man is a really exceptional woman, and that's my mom. So together with my mom and the ladies and girls, Knights of Columbus, they raised funds for many, many years for the St. Gabriel's Church Christmas baskets, for the purchase of crib monitors to prevent sudden infant death for the Montreal Children's Hospital, and they raised money for scholarships for young people. They also provided, cooked, and served monthly meals and annual summer barbecues and Christmas dinners for the people of Benedict Lager House. They also visited the sick at St. Mary's Hospital. My dad is very proud of his roots and walks with the Knights of Columbus in the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and the Marches to the Stone. This honor to my dad was also a gift to our family. We've been working on his speech for about 3 months now. Thank you for that invite. But like some of the people have said, it's through stories that we learn most about our parents. So my dad has shared many stories, we've recorded them, but today's his day, so I'm going to pass the baton to him to partake on the next journey of sharing his stories with you and highlight some of his life. So Dad.